Hey, how is everyone? There's people here. Every time I do this and there's already people here, I'm like, "What? Really?" It's always a cool thing. I don't think I will ever get over that when that happens. Who's hanging out? How is everybody? Did y'all go to the I think I saw most of y'all over at the lifeboat late tonight. I think I did. My tiny human went to sleep very easily tonight. It was so great. He I guess was just really worn out today. He Today is the start of summer for him. So he started out with his first day of his like summer program because he still needs like structure during the days. Because I mean, I work, hubby's going to be working. He's off right now, but he's going to be working in a couple months. And so he still needs something to structure his days while we're working and stuff. But he really likes this program. So he has a lot of fun there. But I think it tuckered him out because he was asleep by 9 o'clock tonight. It was awesome, and no huge messes or anything, and he was pretty happy and a pretty good mood in the evening too. Hey, Mary, good to see you. I loved your walkthrough video of, the market where you get the bacon jam and stuff like that. You'll have to remind me of the name of it, but I loved the walkthrough. I love, like, kind of vicariously getting to tour that place with you because I love places like that. So thank you for sharing that with us. Hey, Miss Dragon, greetings and salutations. It was cool to see you live again this afternoon, too. I missed you. I missed your menagerie. It's always a good time. I find it very soothing. Like, I don't know what it is about like Miss Dragon's lives, but I find them to be very calming, like very soothing, very centering. Like, even when people are like being silly and like laughing about something, I still feel like, like I feel more I don't know. You know how some people in some settings just have that effect on you, and like others kind of amp you up a little bit? Like, well, I'm finding that I need less of the stuff that amps me up lately. Anyway, when I get sleepy, I need that stuff, but not lately. Hey, Janet G, good to see you. It's Sandy Wandy. Yay! Y'all, I remember like months ago, I ran into Sandy Wandy on the comments section of a really, really old lifeboat video. Like, I think she and I were both like going back through and watching old stuff. And I had been sort of systematically doing that. And every now and then I would comment on one, like if it, made me think about something in particular. And usually all the comments were like 2 years ago, maybe 1 year ago, that kind of thing. Until I came across one that was Sandy Wandy was on there and it was like 3 days ago. And I was like, oh, we're following each other. And it was just the coolest moment for me. Like, hey, here we are together. It was like we were both walking like on walks in the woods somewhere. And I didn't realize that I had a friend like on the same path as me and I caught up with her somewhere. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Oh, awesome. Things are cooking. Sandy is a mod. Sandy is a mod on Mary's channel. That's awesome. Miss Dragon says, I'm over here washing out the apple juice container to take with house water tomorrow night for my morning coffee. Their water is chlorinated, so it tastes funny. Talk about being picky. I mean, if you're not used to it, like I could see it really bugs you. I mean, our water is also chlorinated, but we get most of ours from the fridge, like the filter in the fridge. So I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Let's see. Mary, you made it to 601 today. Woo! Woo! That's awesome. That's my quiet celebration. That's awesome. I'm so excited for you, Mary. And you deserve it. I'm so happy for you. Let's see if I'm getting caught up here. That happens with the best naps, doesn't it? I was gonna just lay down for like a half hour, and the next thing I know, it was 2.5 hours later. Man, I haven't had a nap like that in years. Because if I take naps, they have to be very painstakingly planned, you know? Like, I have to make sure that, you know, my husband can take over for our little guy or I have a sitter or something like that. And then it's like, you only have this prescribed period of time for a nap, which I'm not complaining if I get it, but it's like, man, those kind of naps are good if you can get it. Oh, I was wondering, yeah, I know you mentioned it earlier to me, but I was wondering, we had our therapist appointment today, and I think I was more stressed out about that, but I realized things worked out and the counselor apologized. I'm so glad to hear that. When you were telling me about that, it just didn't add up why they would handle it that way. And I thought, surely, like, they're not understanding the whole picture. Um, I'm really glad that it worked out better. I'm really glad that they apologized to you. I think that would be the best way. Like, that would be the only way I would be able to go back after what you described. Hey, Miss Sunrise Dawn is here. Hi from North Georgia, says Miss Sunrise Dawn. Well, hi from North Texas. Y'all are just a little bit up and to the right of me on the map. Oh. Hey, Mon is here too. Hey, Mon, good to see you. Mon sent me pictures from the future, you guys. I've got to show you. Miss Dragon says, my adoptive mom's name was Mary. She went by Ava because there was a whole bunch of Marys in that time frame, especially within the Mexican community. So it was too many people with the same name. You call one person's name and like five people would turn around like, what? Aw, we love you too, Janet G. I love seeing you here. I mean, it always warms my heart. It always makes me happy. I'm still waiting to see when you change your handle to Night Owl. But if you change the avatar at the same time, I'll be thrown. So you have to warn me first. Hey, Don Gloves is here. Hi, Don Gloves, RNSP. Good to see you. I really like that. I really like that you put SP as like one of the credential letters at the end of your name. It just that makes me giggle. That makes me happy. It is an important credential. More people should include it. You were praying. Oh, thank you, Mary. Your prayers worked. I was praying for an uneventful night for you. Yeah, it was pretty chill actually. I got off work around 5. I went to go pick up my little guy from his summer program. Um, my husband got dinner started. I got home. Husband left to go to someone's graduation party, so it was me and little guy, and I was like, "Okay, it's just the 2 of us. Hope we're good." I hope he doesn't freak out. But he didn't. He was very chill, and he just wanted to cuddle on the couch and eat his dinner and, take a really quick bath and do his stories and songs, and he was out like a light pretty fast. So, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think your prayers helped. That's all I can figure. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. It's Nick. I am the Noise Opera. Woohoo! Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Always happy to see you in the chat. Sister with an E. I like that. I like that. Hey, it's Jesse Miller Unboxings and More. Good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. I need to catch up on my YouTube notifications, you guys. I got all kinds of notifications for people that um, make cool videos that I like to watch, but today was a lot of new videos posted and I didn't keep up with all of them. So I've got to be replay crew on a few of them. That was a fun field trip we went on with Mary on her channel, wasn't it? That was a blast. Aw, thanks for the rose. I like that. I like that. I like the rose emoji. That's always like that's nice. I need to find where it is on my keyboard so I can do that more. Grandpa's Cheese Barn, that's what it's called. Gotcha, gotcha. Oh, good. You're planning on tomorrow's live too, Mist? Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's awesome. Let's see. Make sure I don't have any pesky work meetings that get in the way. I'm sort of talking like that now because I am not super worried since I'm only going to be there like 3 more weeks. I'm not saying anything that bad though. Hey, Michael's Adventures. Good to see you. Good to see you. Just got home. I'm probably a little behind in the chat. If I am, I do apologize. Let's see. I've got my new comments. Scroll back up. Scroll back up. StreamYard is kind of funny for me because like it a lot of the time, it won't let me just, like, scroll, it'll, like, make me jump. Ooh, I was behind, wasn't I? That's fun. Scratch and Pete is here. Hey, Scratch and Pete. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of our little band of people here that likes to hang out. And it's Rick Spicer. Hey, Rick Spicer. How's it going? Let's see. Let's see. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, naps are necessary. Mary added Michael with fibromyalgia. There's times my body crashes, and it did this afternoon. Naps are necessary a lot. Yeah, it can happen. That can happen. I have all the I like my heart goes out to anyone that struggles with fibromyalgia because it's so difficult to treat, you know? It's so difficult to treat. So, oh, your grandma was a Mary too, Sandy Wandy? I have an Aunt Mary, but she doesn't go by that. She goes by her middle name. And I'd forgotten that. You don't ever crash Michael's Adventures? Never? You might not be here in the chat. I think I saw something further down that said you had to go. But I find that fascinating. Never? You never just crash out and have a nap? Or do you plan a nap? So what you mean is like you don't just like flunk. You don't like fall asleep by accident, maybe. Let's see. What am I got super behind in the chat, you guys. Oh, yeah, probably. I bet you're right, Mon. I saw I can't find it now, but yeah, he was probably so exhausted from Saturday bouncing around at his cousin's party. Yeah, my little guy went to his cousin's birthday party at a trampoline park on Saturday, and I did chase him around a little bit. I did jump a little bit with him. And 2 days later, my calf muscles are really, really sore, and my knee is letting me know, Kristen, you haven't jumped on trampolines in a while. If you're going to do that, maybe warm up first. Oh, Michael says bye. Okay. Well, bye. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a good night. That video so Mon, you would have seen that video at 3 a.m. your time. My mouth was watering for food, chocolate and cheese. What more could you ask for? Heck yes. That's a really good combination. Chocolate and cheese is pretty great. Thanks, Mon. Thanks for doing the YouTube thing for me. Hey, Joshua Jones. Good to see you. Mr. Blessed to Crochet, also known as. Thanks for saying those YouTube things, Mon, and reminding me to say the YouTube things. Hit that like button or down if you're not feeling it tonight. You can hit the thumbs down button. Just have the courage of your convictions, please. Don't be a fence sitter. I know y'all are getting sick of that joke, but it's still amusing me. One of these days it'll stop amusing me and I'll stop, but that day is not today. It's not today. Oh, somebody was asking why our friend bounced. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe you're just tired. I don't know. It's late. Late for some people. Aw, puppy dog. Miss Sunrise Dawn says, I swear Jasper just made a noise that sounded like a cat. He's been around too many of them. Oh no, look, it's alter ego time, Mr. Buster Crochet. Nice. Oh, this is a good point. I do need to introduce Herman. I don't know if everyone has met Herman. Hey, Sassy Savage, good to see you. Thanks for coming to hang out. I think most of y'all know I don't necessarily like pick topics around here. I just kind of say like sometimes I'll like say loosely I kind of have some stuff on my mind, but then we can just sort of talk about whatever we want to talk about as long as everyone's nice to each other and not a jerk. Um I I've got to introduce Herman for those who have not met him. A warning, Herman is a fish skull. Herman is the skull of a fish that my grandfather caught many, many, many years ago, and he was chosen by the people in the chat as the mascot for my channel. So, for those who've not met Herman, he's a fish head. Hey guys.
Nice to see you. How's it going? Have a nice day.
It's kinda weird you can see my face through his mouth, isn't it? It's a little creepy. Alright.
Off I go. See you later.
That is Herman. That is Herman. Sandy Wandy I think it was Sandy Wandy that pointed it out to me. I apologize if I misspoke, but also I have these little guys, like, I have broccoli and I have positive potato, like, and we wanna make sure that their feelings aren't hurt uh, by Herman being the mascot, so I think these guys are important for encouragement. Little broccoli guy says, "I am always rooting for you." And I am. I am. If you are here, this is an accurate statement about my feelings to you. I'm always rooting for you. Positive potato is as well. I may be a tiny potato, but I believe in you. Go do your thing. When was the last time a tiny potato encouraged you? I mean, come on. If that's not encouraging, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Oh, what did I miss? Mon says, Janet G, I feel your pain. I'm looking to bore in to save water. Oh, you're talking about doing like a well so you don't have to deal with chlorinated water. I gotcha. I gotcha. Janet G says, when my girls were 4, they called my friend Mrs. Roth and her husband Mr. Maryland. Hilarious. Mr. Bless to Crochet reminded me of that. I am tickled that you guys made a handle that's Mr. Bless to Crochet. That was something silly I said, like, in one of the first Lives of Marys that I ever went to. Um, I think Mary introduced him, like, I think he was a mod for her, and she introduced him as, like, "This is my husband," and I said, "Oh, hello, Mr. Blessed to Crochet," because I didn't know his name yet. Mm, he does, I didn't realize that. My Herman voice does sound like Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Hello. How are you guys doing?
So, what did I title this, you guys? I titled it, "Broken Isn't Bad," and, I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about that lately because when people get to talking about something really heavy or how they feel when they feel sad about something, people say a lot that they feel broken, um, or that they feel like they can't be fixed or something along those lines, right? Um, and Mary has a really, really cool quote that she shares about, "You're not broken, you're a disco ball," which I really, really like. I think that's really, really cool. And, I got to thinking, I know, dangerous, always dangerous. I might hurt myself. But there are all these quotes about brokenness, and some of them, like, people don't have the full quote of. And one of them is this quote that people misquoted a lot. Like, they only have a part of it. And the whole thing at the first time you hear it, sounds kind of dark and kind of sad. But, like, really, if you think about it, I think it's actually better. And the one I'm thinking about is this quote. It was, let me see how people think of it. It's like there's a crack, like being broken is how the light gets in, basically. But it's not quite that simple. The full quote is something from Ernest. It's about everyone being broken. The full quote is by Ernest Hemingway from A Farewell to Arms. And if you'll bear with me for a second, it's not that long. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. The full quote is, if people bring so much courage to this world, the world has to kill them to break them. So, of course, it kills them. The world breaks everyone, and afterward, many are strong at the broken places. But those that will not break, it kills. It kills the very good and the very gentle and the very brave impartially. If you are none of these, you can be sure it will kill you too, but there will be no special hurry. And that sounds really dark at first, right? But that's not what I take from it. I take from it, everyone's broken. Everyone. Like, the world breaks everybody. So, how can being broken be that bad of a thing, you know? If it is that bad of a thing, then it's something that we all as human beings share, because the world can be difficult sometimes, and if the world couldn't or didn't break us, then that would have to mean that we are pretty cold and hard, right? And that's not a fun way to live either. I think that what I take from this is that we're all, every one of us, some kind of broken. And that doesn't make us unlovable or bad. It's something that we all share. And you can make some pretty cool art with broken stuff, like the disco ball that Mary was talking about. So I don't know. That's just something that was on my mind. Because I've been hearing that phrase a lot and I've been thinking about that phrase a lot too. Yeah, Miss Dragon says, I'm forever broken, but the air feels at peace with Bradley Ash as our home. Lots of love to you, Miss Dragon. Broken is, I mean, broken isn't bad. It means that you feel something. It means that you've lived in the world. It means that something touched you. So it doesn't always feel great, but it's not something intrinsically wrong. Havarti, cheese. And on that note, Sassy Savage says, I've always said I was broken and unlovable since I was a child. It's something I've got better about, but it still sneaks in when I'm feeling low. Yeah, I hear you. I can relate to that. When I'm in my like rougher moods or my darker moods, I think about it as like my automatic negative thoughts that I get about it is that like, oh, I'm so defective. Like, why would anyone want to be my friend? Which, is irrational. It's irrational for me. It's irrational for you too. You have awesome things about you. You're a totally lovable person. And I think when we use the phrase "we're broken," like, I think what we're really thinking of is, like, how we feel in that moment, you know? Like, when we get to thinking that way, when we get to thinking, "Oh, I'm broken," what we're really dealing with is, like, a sense of, like, loneliness and isolation and sadness that's deep enough that it feels like we can't get out of it to connect with another person. And what we tell ourselves is like, "Oh, I must be so intrinsically flawed that I can't connect with another person." And that's not true. It's never true. Like, no matter how flawed you think you are, there's somebody that's got the same kind of flaw as you do or similar. Um, I very much believe that. I do. And being broken doesn't make you unlovable either. So, being broken is not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that you live in the world. Oh, yeah. If you need a laugh, check out the Herman short that Mary made for me. It was the day that we dubbed Herman the mascot of the group. Hey, Jason P, good to see you. Yeah, we do all have a lot of scar tissue. I mean, we're not all broken in the same way, right? Like everybody's got their, everybody has their road and their way that they got to it. Um, but yeah, that's what the world does. And I think that what I'd like to try to do is instead of dwell on being broken like it's a bad thing, I'd rather think of it like, well, maybe I'm broken, but I'm broken in the same way that all these people I love and appreciate are also broken. And that's something that connects me to them. So how can that be such a bad thing? You know? Um, but I'm not an expert on much of anything. I was just thinking. I almost pulled a muscle. Mr. Blessed to Crochet says, I have a therapist to help me with my broken. I crack jokes to deflect the pain. Yeah, I do that a lot too. I make a lot of jokes. Some of my jokes are better than others. Some of them are not so great. But I hear you. I can relate to that. I can. A lot of the best comics felt very broken. Hey, thanks for sharing this. Sandy Wendy says tomorrow is Toxic Tuesday, which I kind of love that title. I really do. Join us at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Steerus, which I have on my watch later list. They do a lot of cool content about toxic work environments, which I think is very relevant to a lot of us. Um, So be sure to check that out. I will definitely. I'm finding so much cool YouTube now, you guys, because it's like I'm finding it through people's channels that I know and love, like you guys. So it's getting to the point where like I don't know, like I feel so fortunate to have my YouTube algorithm be what it is. Like it used to be kind of like junk food for my brain. And now it's like, oh, I know her. I know him. Like it's people I know talking about things that I care about or just their lives, which I also care about. Um, so it's a pretty cool place to be right now. YouTube, this corner of YouTube that we have found is a pretty cool place to be. Ooh, Sassy Savage says, I have the quote handwritten on my wall, notebook, etc. since 9. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Yeah, yeah, I think that's definitely true. I think that's definitely true. And it's encouraging. It's very encouraging. Oh, I love this, Miss Sunrise Dawn. Kaleidoscopes are tubes of broken glass, and they're beautiful. Yeah, they change the way the light comes in, and they make everything look new. I love that. Rick Spicer says, "Song, I give you this from my mom, Broken, Lovely, the band." I'll have to look that up. That's a song? I'll have to look it up for sure. Is it a karaoke possibility? Yeah, I'll be real with you. Sometimes I karaoke in place of journaling. Not in place of, but like I don't know. Sometimes it's easier for me to like pick a song I relate to and that I'm feeling something in the moment about and mm, and like sing it. Sometimes it's easier for me to do that than express something. And it blows off steam too. It really does. Like even if I'm not doing like some really deep or serious song, if it's just something silly, then it's a great way to blow off steam. I think the morning that I had to start the day with the carpet cleaner, like, that was how I blew off steam in the car was, like, by, like, singing really loud in the car. I don't think I, recorded that one, but it's very therapeutic. It's fun. It's fun for me. It can be kind of a I don't know, kind of a lazier form of journaling for me. And thank you, Mary, for posting up the links to Tuber Chat. Tuber Chat, you guys, is a great resource for if you are a small content creator, like myself, like Mary, like my Sunrise Dawn. If you are, wanting to connect with other YouTubers and just learn more about like how the whole thing works and how to grow your channel and how to organize your content. And it's a great way to also connect to other small content creators. People do cool things like trade playlists and, we'll watch each other's stuff and comment and like, it helps give each other watch time and engagement and also just getting to know other people like Jessie Miller unboxing. I love her channel. I love her the unboxing channel and I wouldn't have found her if not for Tuber Chat. So it's a pretty cool resource. And the lifeboat, of course, please go check out the lifeboat if you have not already. Most of us small content creators over here are ripples off the lifeboat, meaning we met there, we started there, and then we thought, hey, maybe I'll make a channel. That sounds fun. I want to keep hanging out with these people I met here at the lifeboat. So please do check that out. They typically go live every morning at 9 a.m. Central. I'm sorry, I think in 10 Central time zones because that's where I am. And 7 p.m. Central. Somebody can translate that for me. And then lately, also 9:30 Central as well. See, this is part of the reason I started a channel, actually. Things like Sassy Savage says, I totally agree, Kristen, and I relate to those feelings. I was not thinking, I wasn't really like I posted up a couple videos here as basically just an experiment, just to be like, well, I want to see if I can get to a point where I'm not sick of my own voice. And just to see if I can do it, just to try something new, just to go out of my comfort zone, just to keep from being bored with my life, basically. And I thought probably like two people will ever see this and it'll never be anything more than that. And that's fine. It's just an experiment. Um, and I didn't really think about, like, making it anything bigger than it was until one lifeboat when I can't remember. I can't remember if it was Tommy or Spanx, but somebody said, if you think you're the only one who feels something, if you think you're the only one who experiences something, then start a channel and talk about it. And you find out that you're not. Just like this. And it's a pretty cool thing. Pretty cool thing. Hey, no worries, it's sunrise dawn. If I suddenly stop talking, I may have fallen asleep. If you fall asleep to the sound of my voice, I will be pleased as punch. I feel like I consider that a great compliment. If my voice is soothing to you, that makes me happy. It does. Um, or if you just want to hang out and keep talking, that's fine too. But yeah, no worries at all. Miss Dragon says, I say I'm forever broken because the time to heal. Oh, because of the time it takes to heal. I don't have at my age. Wow. I mean, I don't know. When I think about healing from certain things, like until recently, like when it came to like certain heartbreaks and past relationships and things like that, I was kind of like sitting around going, when am I going to be over this? Like, when am I going to heal from this? When is this not going to bug me anymore? Or when am I not going to think about it anymore? But I am kind of coming to the realization that if something was really heavy in my life and it touched me really, really deeply, then it's not something that's just going to go away. Like, it's not something I'm just going to get over. And I don't know that it's something I necessarily heal from, but maybe it's something that I gain perspective on and I can integrate it in my life instead of letting it run me in a way that's not healthy. But I'm still figuring it out. Like, to be honest with you, I'm still figuring it out. I don't know. I mean, I think some loves we don't heal from. I think some loves we grow around, you know? Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, if you haven't seen Mary's live from Grandpa's Cheese Barn, go check it out. It's a really fun, like, walkthrough of the store there with all the cool things, and I found it very soothing to listen to. For whatever reason, Mary, like, your voice was very, very calming in that video to me, and I knew that because I was very irritated with something at work, and then I put that in, and I was like, "Oh, it's all okay." Maybe I just find your voice soothing because you're my friend. It could be it. It could be it. Oh, I love this. Broken crayons still make beautiful colors. Heck yes. Broken crayons still color just the same. I love that. I love that. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm stuck with you, Mary. Thank you guys for all the encouragement from last night. I was having a rough night. I was having a rough day. Actually, I was having a rough week. And it made a huge difference. So thank you. I appreciate it. Miss Sunrise Dawn says you're stuck with me too. Awesome. I couldn't think of better people to be stuck with. I love it. Doing dishes, but listening. The only reason I got my dishes done earlier was because my little guy fell asleep earlier. Otherwise, they'd still be dirty in the sink. Heck yes, YouTube is better than TV. We don't have cable. We don't have, we got rid of Netflix. I think we still have Disney Plus, and that gives you some Hulu stuff. And I think for a minute we had Paramount Plus, but we got rid of most of the cable stuff and most of the other streaming services. And since we don't keep any of those, we pay for the YouTube premium so we can skip ads, figuring, well, this is the only thing we really use. So we may as well. I mean, if I for news, I can subscribe to a few news channels on YouTube if I want to, but mostly I follow people I know now. Oh, sorry, I bumped my computer. See, that's what I'm saying. I think it is there. I think music is therapeutic also. I want to learn to play instruments too. Like, one of the things I always wanted to be able to do was like play the guitar or the piano in a way that some people can. They just like they make a guitar or piano sing. And it's just so cool to me. And I've always wanted to be able to do that. I started taking lessons in both of those things as a kid, but like never panned out with them because I was like 13 at the time and I couldn't like I just jumped around and I didn't stick with anything long enough to get good at it. So, um, So that's something I'd like to get back to. I've thought about, like, looking for I have an acoustic guitar over here that, like, I don't know how to play, and it's a really nice acoustic guitar too. Um, but I've been thinking about, like, looking for some, like, tutorial videos on YouTube or something. Maybe embarrass myself and record it and stick it in my, trying new things playlist. Oh, the song you shared, Rick. I couldn't sing that song, I'd be in tears by the end. I've had that happen. Like if something like, if a song really, really touched me and I would like, it really, really sunk in with me about something I had experienced, then it was really hard for me not to, like, get emotional and cry while singing it. And that's a difficult thing, like, I'm not a serious vocalist, but if you are, like, a serious vocalist, that's something you have to watch for, especially if you're, an actor as well. Like, if you're in a musical, you want to convey emotion, but you also don't wanna get so emotional that you can't control your vocal cords either. It's a difficult balance. Um, so I just do karaoke for fun, and I'll blow out my voice and do it the wrong way sometimes. It is cool how music affects us. Oh, you connect to music through dance, Sassy Savage. That's really, really cool. So most of my dancing these days, like it's like in my kitchen, after everybody's asleep. But it's fun. It's fun. Ooh, Miss Dragon has a song that is now running through her head. Maybe I can pull it up on my phone. I can't see it on my StreamYard. Do do do. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, I have voicemails. Oh, but those are old. I have since spoken to the people that sent me voicemails. So we're good. I think I have anyway. You guys, I have to so I pulled up my YouTube to look at the link that Miss Dragon shared, and it's like I have mine pulled up, this live pulled up so that I can see the chat faster when it's on a delay, and underneath it, it's of course got the recommended your next thing to watch, and this is the image it popped up on. With the hair. I don't know what the context of that at all, but it's a funny image because I didn't make that one because I was solo parenting at the time, but that makes me smile. Makes me smile. Love music and beats. Heck yes, heck yes. I like almost every kind of music there is. It's pretty ridiculous. Like, I mean, I'm probably not gonna put up a karaoke of it because it doesn't sound very cool, but I like Eminem, I like rap, I like country music, I like hip hop, I like pop. And I like a lot of pop music. I like what else is there? If you can think of a genre of music, there is probably something in it that I enjoy and I have on my playlist. It's what gets me is like a good beat, a good vocalist, good lyrics, like really heartfelt, poetic lyrics. I'm always a sucker for those. And but what I'm really, really a sucker for is a really, really good, like, banger guitar solo. Like, that's a ooh, I love that. I love that. I wish I could sing along to a guitar. I wish I could make guitar sounds with my vocal cords. That's how cool I think it is, but I can't. So I just think it's cool. Oh, this is cool. Every time I see your name missed, I think of one of my favorite songs, Into the Mystic. I'll have to look that one up. I love music exchange. I love hearing about, like, new music I've never heard of before. Um, it's a really, really cool thing for me. Music is food for the soul, absolutely. Hey, Maya! Maya is here, AKA Allison Art Supply Hoarderland. Good evening. Good morning for you. Boy, am I super tired today. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope you have some strong coffee or strong tea or whatever helps you get going in the morning. But it's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Looks like Mist and you're sending some cool music links to take a look at. You play the flute, Mary? How did I not know that? That's awesome. I wanna see you play the flute. That's so cool. I love people that can play instruments. I wish I could. I think it's so cool. I would love to see that. I would love to see you play something on the flute. This is what I want it to be. Thank you, Mon. Mon says, "This is a safe place to talk about everything and anything. We all need ones and good juju." Heck yes, heck yes. That's what I want. That's what I want for it. Jesse Miller Unboxing says, "We can trade talents, Kristen. I played the piano and clarinet, but I want to be able to sing." All right, cool. We'll just swap. I don't know how that works, but like, let's arrange that. Message me later. We'll figure out how that works. uh, music exchange. Really, missed? My youngest is self-taught guitar, bass, and drums. Guitar he picked up using tabs. That's really cool. That's really cool. I wish that I could. I've heard a lot of really great musicians are self-taught though. Like they don't necessarily like have formal music training. Mm. Janet G, part 1 of 2. I have a complex trauma diagnosis. In my struggle to make sense of trauma and figure out what to do with it, I've come to realize that visualizing, giving it air to breathe, makes it less toxic. Stuffing it down causes pathology. Airing it out dissipates the control it has over my life. When it no longer controls my emotions and reactions, it's just part of me and my history. Wow, Janet G. That's beautiful. That's amazing. Trauma can feel so heavy. It does feel like that, doesn't it? It feels physically heavy. I love that idea of you said, visualizing, giving it air to breathe. It's like the longer you try to stuff something down or like cover it over, the bigger it gets and the more scar tissue builds around it. So, like, just giving it air, like, whether that's expressing or just visualizing it, you said, like, just visualizing giving it air, not even necessarily talking about it. It makes such a huge difference. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Janet G. That's beautiful. I love that. Wow, really, Maya? I played both the guitar and keyboard like 30 years ago, but lately I suddenly got the urge to play again. I think you should. I think you should. I think that's awesome. I'm so impressed with people that can play instruments. So I said I couldn't play the piano at all. I lied a little. I can play one song. It's a really silly song, but every time my parents have a piano, and every time we go over to visit them, I play the one song, and that's it. I took piano lessons with this teacher. Uh, I don't know. I think she's still around. Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look. But her name was Miss Groisman, and I think she was Russian. She had an accent, I think maybe. Um, but she didn't really like teach actually like playing the piano and like reading the notes at first. Like she started everyone off at just like telling you where to put your hands on the keys to play a little song because she felt like, well, I want to get people excited about it. If they feel like they have to do scales forever, then they won't stay interested, which I kind of get, which kind of makes sense. But like for me, like I didn't stick around long enough to pick up the rest. So I would have done better to start learning the actual how to play the piano first, but I can play that one song pretty decently. Bores. Discord or Facebook. Yeah, guys, please connect on the Discord or Facebook. I don't have my own Facebook group. I know that I think most of us came to know each other through the lifeboat, so that's when I hang out in a lot. On Discord too. I think that's where I know most of you guys from. But if there's anyone I don't, and if you guys think it would be fun to have a Facebook group for us, let me know. I'll set something like that up. If you just want another place to chat. Oh, I missed the beginning of this. I don't know what's going on. The Rat Pack? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Totally lost you guys. I meant what I said earlier. Like I can't even keep up with a chat of like 10 or 20. So I don't know how anyone even approaches keeping up with a chat of 100 plus. Like that just like blows my mind. I am? She's starting to talk a little bit of Elvis, think t to like a little bit of Elvis thanks to her sister. I am. I would like to karaoke an Elvis song, but I don't he has such a deep voice, I don't know that I would be able to even approach doing it justice, you know? 'Cause I have kind of a deep voice, like, I have a deep register for a woman, but not like Elvis deep, you know? Rick Spicer says, "When I sing 'Announce Smoke Break.' Janet, I think maybe your purpose is supporting other good souls." I love that. Janet is really good at supporting other good souls. Not blowing smoke up your ass. Noticed that about you. Rick's being totally 100% honest. He's not blowing smoke. Ooh, and I'm getting educated here. The bore replaces fresh town water. It's quite salty. Some people will use bore water in their pool as well. Oh, that's interesting. Eddie Van Halen is missed. Oh gosh, that was one of the songs that I used to like. I had certain songs that like as a 16, 17-year-old that I would just like rock out to in my car. And one of them was called Humans Being by Van Halen. I think it was Van Halen. Hold on. I'm gonna find out. I gotta find out now. Humans Being. And it was part of the soundtrack to Twister because I liked Twister and I liked all the music on it. Yep, it's Van Halen. Um, I love that song. Humans Being by Van Halen. It's awesome. Give it a listen. Into the Mystic by Morrison. I'll give that a listen too then. Oh, I love this. Sandy Wandy said, "Mary, you remind me of my friend from high school, Debbie. And now I find that you not only look like her, you also play flute." That's really cool. Maybe that's like, I don't know, like the soul family thing missed. We were talking about that earlier today. People remind you of people. You're taking piano lessons now, Janet G? That's awesome. I love that. I love that. I don't quite have the time or ability to go, like, take formal lessons, but I was thinking, well, I can find, like, a little basic lesson video. I'm sure there's something like that out there on YouTube. These are important talents too, Mon. Mon says, "I don't have any musical skills, but I can be kind and cook." Those are incredibly important skills and actually getting rarer and rarer too. People around here are so clever. I wish I had another special gift like music. I think you do have special gifts, Mon, like I don't know, like, you and I connected really easily, and kindness is an incredibly special skill, especially I feel like nowadays it's becoming rarer and rarer, like, people kinda move in their silos and they don't think about the other people they interact with, and kindness is rare. Don't sell yourself short on that, please. It's really important. It's a great skill. Okay, I have a vote for a Facebook group. Alright, cool. Yes, Mary has one for her channel as well. So if that's something you guys find, we can hang out over there too. We can piggyback off of hers. Um, I mean, I guess I can set up one, or I can set up a chat, whatever you guys think would be more fun. Maya says, "I am just self-taught, so I cannot play whatever without practicing by hearing. I tried to learn to play with notes, but my teacher gave up." So I can and I can't read music. Like I can do the whole solfege thing, and I can go do, re, mi, like, I can do that. But if you show me, like, written music on a page, I'm not very reliable with doing anything with it. Like, if learn a song, it's usually because I listened to it a couple times, and then I do it. Um, but I did choir in high school and middle school, so I did have to learn the whole do, re, mi, fa. I do remember most of the sign language, not all of it, but most of it. It sticks in your brain. Mist in Eddie's hair, the big hair. Nice. Oh, really? Rat Pack was Frank Sinatra, Sammy gotta love Frank Sinatra. How do you not love Frank Sinatra? Smooth, like, that's the smoothest. Like, I think Frank Sinatra, like, must have invented the application of the word smooth to a human being, right? Like, I think, personally. Sammy Davis Jr., Dean Martin, and a few others. I raised the boys listening to it. My oldest still listens to it, and so do I. I love that. Sassy Savage says, "When I used to sing karaoke, it was always Joan Jett or Pat Benatar." Those are great choices. I love that. Um, I used to go out and, like, sing karaoke in person places, but they kinda shut down a lot of that stuff around the pandemic, and then I was a mom with a special needs kid and didn't have time to, like, go places, so, here's my YouTube channel where I do karaoke. Agree wholeheartedly, Janet G. Janet G says, "Mon, you have a special gift. You are a nurse. You have the gift of healing and support." That is an incredible gift. Not everybody has the patience or the fortitude to help people heal and to be with people in their healing. That does take a really special kind of temperament and skill. Um, and it's also the kind of thing that it like being a healer, so to speak, like having that temperament. Like I think it's kind of a calling. It's kind of like if that's really your temperament and that's really what you're called to do is heal or help other people heal or walk beside them in their healing, however you want to think about it. If you don't do it, then you find yourself feeling less and less and less over time. At least that was my experience. I mean, I'm not a nurse. I don't have that kind of education. I went to school to be a counselor, and then I worked for a corporation for 7.5 years. And the longer and longer I was there, the less and less and less fulfilled I became. And then I realized it's because I have a helper temperament. That's just what I naturally do. And that's just kind of ingrained in me. And if I'm not doing that at all, then I flounder and I get self destructive and I get depressed and nothing good comes of it. So, yeah, totally on board with the healing mentality. Ooh, I got pictures. I need to share some of these. Okay, so I have a couple that I want to share that y'all sent me because y'all are fun and y'all send me cool pictures during the lives to share with the group. So Miss Dragons shares this picture as like 15 years old, but this gives you an idea of how many guitars he had at one time before he became a dad. Wowza. Okay. Wowza. That is a room full of guitars. Holy moly. Let's see if I can like turn it sideways to make the picture larger. I don't know if that'll work. Sorry. Technology. It is bewildering to me. Here we go. Look at look at that room full of guitars. Isn't that awesome? Holy moly. That is so cool. So my husband plays electric guitar a little bit. And then there's an electric guitar hanging out here somewhere, and I have an acoustic guitar that I don't know how to play at all. Ooh, so Mon sent me a picture of the future from Australia, like 16 hours ahead. Oh my gosh, this sky is gorgeous. It's just a picture of the sky there, you guys, but it's beautiful. Like I love the blue in those clouds. Like it looks bright, but I don't know, deep. You know what I mean? Gosh, I love that. Thank you, Mon. I love that. What I've been doing lately the past couple nights, and probably if someone drives by, they think I'm a nut, but I don't really care. Um, I take my dog on a walk in the evening, like after my kiddo's in bed, after my husband's home to like be there if he needs something. I take my dog on like a mile walk, like around the neighborhood. And lately, the past few days, when I get back, instead of just going right inside, I sit down on my curb and like there's like this little, like if you've been in the suburbs, there's like the lawn, but then there's a sidewalk and then there's a little strip of grass, and then there's the curb. Well, I sit down on the curb and then I lay down in the grass and I just like look up at the night sky for a little while. And my dog sits next to me and he is patient with me because he's my dog. And every now and then cars drive by and I'm sure they think I'm a nut, but I just like to look at it, you know? And it's very grounding. It's very soothing. Laying in the grass is incredibly soothing. If you don't have allergies, if you're not concerned about, I don't know, I don't have any critters that I'm worried about crawling over me, but it's very it's very soothing. Missed. Your guitar room is popular. Everybody wants it. So back to music. Maya says, I kind of know the notes on the sheet, but cannot transfer them to my fingers playing the instrument. Yeah, I gotcha. It's like there's a disconnect. As soon as I know what the song is supposed to go, I cheat by using my memory. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think probably like doing that with singing is what got in the way of me actually losing like learning how to read music is that like if I heard it once or twice, I could pretty much remember what it was supposed to sound like. And so I rely on my memory instead of reading the sheet music. Oh, that's a good idea, Mon. Mon says maybe we could do a Teams or a Zoom meeting and everyone could join up with music and I bring the food. Oh, I love that. That would be awesome. And to see real humans come together or music and karaoke all together. I love that idea. That's awesome. I could set up like a Zoom. I could do that. I would just have to like schedule it to like for a time that works for you guys that wanted to be there. But that sounds fun. Sounds like a blast. I can add more people on the screen here. I just haven't I think I haven't, like, figured out I mean, I can do that too, but I know some people like Zoom better because it's, like, more private, so I can look at that. Mm. Sassy Savage says, "My mom raised me on classic and Southern rock and Motown." I love that. So everything from Leonard Skinner and Creedence Clearwater Revival to Al Green and Otis Redding. I love that. Ooh, I love some CCR. Yeah, there's a lot of songs by them I like to sing along to. They're pretty fun. This was in response to Mist's picture of the guitar room. I want everything in that room. Nice. The youngest plays 6 and 7 string guitar, 4 and 5 string bass. He's a better bassist. Wow, that's awesome. Really, Janet? This is so cool. My mom will be 95 in August, and she plays her baby grand piano every day. She's been an inspiration for me. I love that. That is so cool. Oh, can she teach me how to play piano? That's just awesome. I love that. I love that. I love that she's still like she's doing something she enjoys, right? You know, that's how you keep your zest for life is you do things that make you happy, you do things that you're passionate about. I love Moonlight Sonata, Janet G. My favorite is when my mom plays Moonlight Sonata. Oh, I love Moonlight Sonata. I tried to learn it, but I only got like just the little beginning notes of it. Maya, he's only got a couple of bass and guitars left. The money I spent. Oh yeah, Maya, if we did it like if we could do like a Zoom band. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like Moonlights. Oh, Chopin. Oh. Chopin is one of those things that like if you get I haven't listened to like classical music in a long time, but there's certain types of classical music that if you start listening to it, you like get lost in it and you're just like everybody else leave me alone. Don't mess with me. I'm listening to my amazing music in my head or in my earbuds. Oh, okay. Miss says I don't sing or play. I used to sing till my voice dropped with age. I was a soprano. Like when I was in choir in like middle school, like they did do this thing where they kind of like sorted us into different sections, like soprano 1, soprano 2, and alto for the women for the most part. And like they had us sing scales and they listened to how we sounded singing them and then they would like assign us to a section based on that. When I did my scales, she said, "You could pretty much be in any of them, but we're gonna put you here because we have less of those." And I think it was alto that she put me into. Yeah, you folks do a Zoom band, if that makes here Zoom Zoom. I like that. Janet G, can we ask your mom to come with the piano? Yeah, she can accompany us. That would be fun. Everybody says this. Mom says, "Miss, I don't sing, trust me, or no one wants to hear it." I disagree. Like, even like, I wanna hear everyone sing, not because necessarily, like if you want to, obviously, but a lot of people say, like, "Nobody wants to hear me sing," but I do. Like, even if you don't sound classically trained or whatever, like, even if someone can't carry a tune in a barrel, like, even like, what makes me like listening to people sing is, like, their energy around it and, like, their happiness around it. Like, the way people look and the way that they sound when they sing along to a song that they really like is just, like, it makes my heart happy, and you don't have to be, like, technically good at singing for that to happen. So, that's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. 2.5 cents. I usually talk a little more than 2. That's a good point, Maya. Internet band could be interesting with the delay. Yeah, that might get in the way a little bit. I think you're just what I needed. There's like a pause in the middle. Oh, bummer. Janet G says my mom doesn't do Teams, unfortunately. We tried to teach her how to do FaceTime, but all we saw was her forehead. She couldn't get around the idea of interacting online. That's fair. It's probably a very strange thing if you didn't grow up with it, for sure. See, again, I disagree. Sassy Savage says no one would ever want to hear me sing either. I ruined my voice box in a car accident many years ago. Well, my caveat will be if singing hurts you physically, if it hurts to do, then no, I don't want you to hurt. But I like people singing along to things that make them happy. Uh, it's 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 mesmerizing to me. People doing something that they enjoy, listening to a song they like. People like in the flow state, people like vibing out to something that just I love that. Live for that. Oh, you did tap dancing, Mist? I had no idea. That is so cool. Miss Dragon says, well, since I did tap dancing for at that time 10 years, I had the foot control and the arm control. I wanted my band teacher to teach me how to play drums. He wouldn't do it because I was a girl. Flip and flip. That makes me wanna flip my desk. I'm sorry, Mist. That sucks. You should show him. You should learn how to play it now. Play the drums now, like, show him. But that's funny you did the tap dancing, like, that's really cool. Tap dancing is hard. That takes a lot of, like, cardiovascular fitness because 'cause you're constantly in motion. I love singing in the car too, Maya, and you would not cause trauma to people. You would not. Ooh, Sandy, you bring about a good point. Sandy says, I really want to be able to do throat singing. I practiced trying in the car. I had heard of throat singing. Like it sounds totally different. Like it's like lower and like vibratory. I think if I tried to do it, I might hurt my vocal cords. So I'd want to check on that first. Rick Spicer, I did an invention research. Oh, cool. Bach, Chopin, blah, blah. Converted it to math and different notes. Expanded brain retention 7 times for real. Are you talking about like how music is mathematical, Rick? Is that what you're getting at? Because it is. It is. The only That's the only time I ever get close to kind of liking math is enjoying classical music. But when you get out the actual numbers, I'm just like no. Math and I don't have a good time. We've learned to coexist peacefully, but on opposite ends of the room most of the time, myself and math. Mist. Mist says my mother did FaceTime and so did my dad. I got a nice view of their ear. So I can't FaceTime. So my parents have iPhones and I have a Samsung, so we can't FaceTime. But I don't know. I really am bummed out by Apple most of the time. Like I know probably their phones are better, but I don't know. They do the planned obsolescence thing so badly. I mean, all phone manufacturers do it to some degree, but they go really, really hard with the you won't be able to install updates on the phone in a year and you'll have to buy a new phone. Like that upsets me. I dislike that immensely. Oh wow, Sassy Savage did tap too. Sassy Savage says, "Missed, I did tap most of my childhood. I started at 3 and began competing until senior year of high school." Whoa, that's cool. Oh my gosh, I didn't know. Miss Dragon says, "I took tap, ballet, and jazz from kindergarten through high school." That's so cool. I couldn't do point because I was flat-footed, so I focused on tap. Does being flat-footed get in the way of doing point? I guess it might. I have pretty flat feet. I don't have very much of an arch, but so far, I mean, I wasn't trying to be a ballet dancer on point, so I guess it didn't get in the way. I never noticed it. Tap and cheer was your whole childhood, huh, Sassy Savage? That's really cool. That's really cool. Mom says, "I love great Southern music." Me too, me too. Reindeer? What? What did I miss? I missed something earlier in the chat about reindeer, and that upsets me. I'll have to go find that. That's important. Janet G says, My sister learned how to joik, jolk when she was running reindeer with the Sammy. She's a singer, so it came naturally to her." Oh, the Tuvan singing, maybe that's what you're talking about. Or I could just be incredibly lost. That's fine. That's okay too. Uh, oh, bummer. Miss Dragon says that band teacher was a weirdo. He said I'd make a cute looking boy. Yeah, that's a weird thing to say. That's a weird thing to say. Maya says we tried to learn my grandma sending text messages when she was like 95. She kind of learned it, but it was always me who received them because I was on the top of her contact list. So would she be like meaning to send someone else a message and just automated it to send to you? Oh, excuse me, guys. I guess that means it's time to start thinking about winding down. I'm actually relieved that I'm getting sleepy again in the evenings and at night because I wasn't for a long time. And like I would log off here and then I would still be up for like 2 hours because I just couldn't sleep. So I think something is writing itself in my chemistry again that I'm getting sleepy at night sometimes. Yeah, I agree. Mom says, I don't want to be 25 again. I was too busy with a 3-year-old and a newborn. Yeah, that's pretty dang busy. 3-year-old and a newborn at the same time. That 25, though. What was I doing when I was 25? I did have a job. I at least had that. But then I was also making a lot of really stupid decisions as well. So maybe I shouldn't be 25 again either. Probably the sun damage that I have, the skin damage that I have came from choices I made when I was 25. I think on some level I knew like I was gonna like settle down and be really tame at some point. So I had to like go maximum intensity in my 20s, like with a lot of things. I still do, but with healthier things most of the time. But I'm a maximum intensity kind of person. Rick Spicer says music is math. It just is. You're right. You're right. It is. So I converted all hits to numbers and wrote an album mathematically should sell 200 years. I'm not musical per se, just curious. That's really cool. Music is math. It's the only math I find approachable. Other math intimidated by. Mist says, Mon, us Gen X turned 30 at the age of 12, and we're still 30 at the age of 58. So you grew up fast, but then you stopped. Is that what you're saying? I get along better with like here's what I found, and this is, not, by no means like an absolute. Like there are people my age and younger that I get along just fine with, but I found over the years that I get along best with people that are like Gen X and older, usually. Like at least like if someone's my age, it's sometimes harder for me. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not like we don't have anything in common necessarily, but I don't know, like the sense of humor and the mindset about things, like I just connect better with people who are a little bit older than me. I mean, I'm not that young. I'm 37. I'm not like, in my 20s or anything, but I have the sense of humor of someone probably about 20 years older than me, I think. Skiing, you did skiing, Janet G? Also, Janet G says, "I did piano ballet, but mostly skiing, then came taekwondo." I would love to learn to ski one day, but I never lived anywhere where skiing was easily available. And when I do visit places that have skiing, it's in the summer when there's not skiing. So oh, I guess it could be water skiing. I didn't think of that, Sassy Savage. Good point. Yeah, Miss Dragon, that was a creepy teacher. Out the window. Out the window. Of course he did. Miss Dragon says, Janet G, he wasn't a teacher long. He became an insurance salesman. Well, heck, I worked for an insurance company for 7 years, but I don't sell it. I don't know if that's any better, though. I don't know. Huh. That makes sense. Sassy Savage says, Rick, 8 counts will be for how I connect to music. The 5, 6, 7, 8, that kind of thing. Thanks, Mon. Great, sleepy, but no cheating. You did well last night. That's right. I told Mon, like, I'm gonna go to bed after this. I really am. And I did put Chow Yun Smut on. I did put her on in the background, but then I did like wind down and actually go to sleep. I didn't stay up all night, scrolling or anything like that. She couldn't quite figure out the sending part after she wrote the text. So I received the same text message like at least 5 times. Oh. So my grandma, before she passed, she got good at email, which back then was a big deal. I think they had like America Online or something, but this was, I guess, in the 2000, like early mid 2000s. My grandmom would email back and forth with me all the time. And she learned how to do it. Like she knew the typing part of it because the keyboard is, the keys are generally in the same place as like an old fashioned keyboard. And she used to work as a typist. So she was able to pick that part up. It was the mouse and the clicking thing that was a little bit of a learning curve. But she was always really open minded to learning new things. Like I think my grandmother lived as well as she did because she had this kind of beginner's mind approach to everything. Like she was constantly wanting to learn more about things and read more about things. And I guess that keeps you from getting bored, right? I'm behind in the chat and it's an awesome problem to have. Most of the time. Most of the time. Jesse says, Kristen, I'm the same way. I usually have an easier time connecting with folks older than me. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know if you and I are the same age and maybe like that it's an anomaly that I connect with you, but I've always been that way though. Like even as a kid, like even in school, like I mean, it wasn't as pronounced then. Like the age difference wasn't as large. It was more like a couple years because that's who you have access to. But um, yeah, people my own age, I mean, it's not like I don't get along with them. I just don't connect with them as easily. I don't know what it is. Really, Mist? I love this. Mist says, I learned how to type on a 1930s Royale typewriter eel to what Wednesday types on, except his is blood red. I still have it. Wow. That's super cool. I love typewriters, like actual typewriters. I I love them so much. I used to have one, and when I was how old was I? Probably undergrad, college age, I would type my journal entries on it. And I type faster than I write, but, like, I didn't wanna keep them on the computer for some reason. I don't know why at the time, what my reasoning was, but I liked having a physical copy, and there's something about using a physical typewriter with ink that just I don't know, it just feels so much more substantial, like, it feels so much more real. I mean, obviously, the computer's fine, I write on the computer all the time, but I kinda miss typing on a typewriter, actually. I might have to go find one. You can usually find a used one around someplace. Ooh, this is the throat singing part. The sound of yoik compares to traditional chanting of some Native American cultures. Also shares features with the shamanistic cultures of Siberia, which mimic the sounds of nature. That's really cool. I had heard of Tuvan throat singing. I don't know what makes Tuvan different. If that's a region or what. I don't know. I could be wrong. I've heard of that, but I didn't know all the background there. Thanks. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. Alice in Art Supply Herderland. Well, bless your grandma's heart for trying so hard to send a message. Heck yes. Yoik. Okay. And Maya says, and yoik is very personal. Most Sami people have their own yoik that kind of is them. Okay. Okay. I did not know that. That's awesome. Awesome, Jesse. We are the same way, and it is an anomaly. I feel like I connect with you. Yeah, yeah, and it's different though. Like I normally don't like normally I connect with people older than me, or I just don't connect at all. So it's cool. Like it's I notice it very very much when I do connect with somebody quickly like that. But I don't know about you guys, but like I've always like, obviously, it's gone wrong sometimes, but I've always found it a little bit easier to genuinely connect with people if it starts out online. It doesn't have to stay there. Like, I can then meet them in person and spend a lot of time with them in person, but it's like that first getting to know you phase I do better with if that part's on the internet. I don't know why. Maybe it's like being able to type something and use that part of my brain to communicate, or maybe it's because people are less self conscious because you're not thinking about your physicality, but, like, that first getting to know you part, I do a little bit better on the internet, I think. I don't know why. Hey, look, it's 7th. 7th is here. Nice to see you, 7th. Thanks for coming to hang out with us. Always good to have you. Different colors. Sassy Savage says, "I could never type. I loved writing, but also loved using different colors, so had a hoarder of pens." Ooh, remember I don't know if this is just my grade or age or whatever, but there was a period of time where those gel pens, like neon gel pens, were incredibly popular. And like they would sell like sketchbooks with black paper so that your neon gel pen would show up on it. And you could buy like these huge things of gel pens, and it was a whole big thing. Whole big thing. I don't think I've seen that for a while. Who are yoik people, please? Apologies for my ignorance. Oh, here we go. I didn't know the answer, so I was hoping someone answered. Maya says they're Sami people. The singing they do are yoik. Okay, so the style of singing is yoik. Gotcha. Gotcha. Really, Janet G? That's really interesting. Found out just recently that I have quite a bit of Sami DNA in my genes. Thought it was all Norwegian, but it's showing up quite Sami. Well, that's really interesting. That's cool. The 23andMe thing is kind of fun. Some people wig out though on like giving your DNA to a corporation. Um, but you know what I said? Like my husband said something about that, and I said, "If Big Brother wanted my DNA, they've already got it. Like, what am I worried about? They probably already got it if they wanted it. So may as well." Ah, yes, gel pens. I miss the gel pens, you guys. They're so great. So I posted a poll, and I don't know if anybody is interested in it, but I had this wild and crazy idea a while back to attempt to do kind of like a book club, like using YouTube. My idea would be that we would pick a different book every month. If you want to play along, you can read the book along with us. And then at the end of the month, we'll use one of these live streams to talk about it. And people can come on if they want to on camera or just sound or just stay in the chat. But obviously not mandatory. Like you can still come hang out. So that's my idea. That's my thought. And if there's, I mean, obviously there has to be interest to do something like that. Um, It looks like I've got at least Sandy Wandy wants to play. So, hey, even if it's just me and you, Sandy Wandy, we'll do it. We'll do it. We'll go for it. You only need 2 people to have a club. What kind of book, Sassy Savage? Well, that was the thing. I don't wanna limit it, like, I want it to be able to be something different based on, like, what everybody's interested in. So, the poll I put up was like, "Hey, if I do the book club thing this month or for June, what kind of book do you wanna read first?" We could read nonfiction, self-help, or fiction. Like, those were the categories I started with. Obviously, there's a lot more book categories out there. Um, and obviously, I would like the people who want to participate in it to be able to have a say in what we're reading. But I know at the beginning, it's like, if I just say, "What book do you wanna read?" That might be kind of, like, overwhelming, so I decided to start with, "Well, what type of book do y'all think?" Because there's a lot of different stuff I'd like to read and a lot of different genres. So, like, kinda narrowing it down, I think would help. Let me pull up the link to that post because I put a little poll there. Boop, boop, boop. I don't know if it'll link me. Oh, people did vote. 7 people voted. So the choices I put up there were I wrote, "Hey, trying out the book club starting in June. What kind of book should we read first?" And I had options of self-help, memoir and biography, or fiction, or other. Like, you could write it in a comment. 7 people have voted, and 43% of them picked a memoir or a biography. That's good to know. And okay, I'm gonna share the link to this. So if you wanna play along, you can, uh, you can do so. Oh, I can't figure out a way to share a link to my posts. So I guess you just have to navigate back to, like, the main YouTube page and go click the community tab, and that's where it is, if you're interested in voting here. Oh, and Mon says, "All I like different types." And Janet G wrote, "I agree with Monica, you pick." Yeah, well, if y'all will narrow it down to it sounds like y'all have narrowed it down to an area, memoir, biography. There's a lot of memoir and biographies I love. Like, there's a lot to pick from there. There's a lot to pick from and a lot I'm interested in too. Um, but yeah, it won't let me share just the link to that post. So if you go to my community tab, it should be there if you're interested in playing along. And if you want to vote, please do. Miss says I've been working on for the last several months trying to finish the book, The Forbidden Female Speaks. Ooh, that title sounds intriguing. I'm going to write that down. Does anybody write in cursive anymore? Like, when I write journals or when I write notes to myself, I write in cursive. I think that's another thing that, like, that's another reason I get along with people older than me. Nobody writes in cursive who's my age and younger. There was a time though when I wrote in cursive and my little brother didn't, so he, like, couldn't really even read it that well, so I used it as, like, a code. Mom says, "I love nonfiction," which I'll send to you, page 47, but it may cause a trigger. Yeah, that's something I wanna keep in mind too, like, what I'll probably do is once I give people a little bit more time to vote on that, is I'll come up with a few options of memoir biography, and, 'cause some of the memoirs and biographies I think are the most interesting do have triggers in them because they're heavy, they're intense. But I wouldn't want that to keep anyone from playing along. But it's not like, we would do a different one the next month. So you could always, like, sit out June's book and then do the next one. Like if we pick one in June that you're like, "That doesn't sound great, and I don't wanna read that," you don't have to, and then we can pick a new one the next month. 7th. Oh, you've been keeping track of it. 7th said it was between biography and fiction earlier tonight. So you're keeping tabs on it for me. I could have just asked you what it was. I didn't have to look it up. 7th, I don't know if you saw, but I did do a video where I sang a song, and I did the first verse before I ate a tube of Tower Peanut and the second verse after I ate a tube of Tower Peanut. I did do that. It might be funnier if I did it live, but I didn't quite have the guts for that. Running with Scissors. Okay. I don't know that one. But I love book recommendations. That makes me happy. What was way more than we were wanting to know? Oh, it's up. Okay. History lesson. I love history lesson. Sami people are genetically different from Scandinavians because they came from Upper Russia, Asia, across the Arctic Circle. That's why the DNA is different. That's really interesting to me. That's not oh, there's more. Previously. Cool. Janet G says the Sami people are reindeer herders traditionally. They live in the circumpolar regions of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia, and they have been in the Arctic for thousands of years. That's really cool. That is not way more than we wanted to know. That's intriguing. That's awesome. Janet G was like, "Sorry, that was way more than you were wanting to know." I no, I disagree. That was exactly what I wanted to know. I love stuff like that. Mon, it's supposedly oh, the book, The Forbidden Female Speaks, is supposedly channeling Mary Magdalene. I'm not worried about that, but the idea of getting the divine feminine and the divine masculine to work together within the body makes you a better person. I could see that. Like everybody has like masculine traits, feminine traits, getting them to kind of jive and get along with each other. That could be really beneficial. Rick Spicer says, "Yeah, I curse and write." I think we all do sometimes. I think we do. Oh, I didn't know this. The Sami have their own language and kind of look a certain way. High cheekbones, eyes that are slanted and short. I don't know, but I'm learning. I didn't know who the Sami people were before tonight. This is the coolest thing ever. Mon, good point. Sami people must then help Santa, especially with the reindeer. Yeah, definitely. That's what I imagine. 7th, if you missed it, I posted it this morning and I called it Spicy Karaoke, and it's to the song Como la Flor by Selena. I thought, why don't we go crazy and just sing something in Spanish too? Just why not? Oh, okay. Some people, Genji says, some Sami people used to be called Laplanders, but that is derogatory slur and insult. Okay. All right. Then let's forget I read it out loud then. You got this, Mary. Mary says, I'm listening. I'm just working on this blanket that has to be due by June 8th. You got this. I believe in you. Wait a second. Here we go. Broccoli says, I'm always rooting for you. You got these. And he's dancing too. He's dancing. Oh, that is now a slur. Okay, okay. So hopefully I didn't like say a slur out loud on YouTube without realizing it. Um, the Sami people have been treated terribly. That's awful. It's getting close to that time. It's getting close to that 1 o'clock Central Time here, the time where I usually start sharing links and wrapping it up, you guys. Much similar to First Nations people in Canada. Gotcha. Gotcha. So it looks like some people like the idea of the book club. So I'll do it. And if it's just if it ends up just being, me and like one or two other people, that's cool. That's cool. Um, that's how I always feel about everything I do on here. It's like if it's just me, even if it's just me and one other person, it's worth doing. It's fun around here. All right. I'm gonna put some links up here. And right now I'm on a different screen. So I can't see the chat. So bear with me there for a second. Let's see. I'll post it. I think probably everybody here knows these, but if you don't, just on the off chance you don't, I'm going to post them. So if you want to see why I started doing silly things like eating jalapenos and spicy peanuts and stuff, go check out Chase the Heat over there. That's all their fault. If you want to see why I ended up starting a YouTube channel in the first place, or the impetus, that is, then go check out The Lifeboat, where I heard the words, if you think you're the only one, start a channel. And then I found that I was not the only one when I started a channel. And if it's coming around to 1 o'clock in the morning Central Time Zone, and you're still just like, "You know what? I don't wanna go to sleep yet," or, "I'm not ready to not," I wanna still have people to connect with and people to chat with. um, Go check out Chow Yun Smut, which is the channel run by our good friend Cricket. And I am copying and pasting her link to post in the chat as well. I'm making silly little faces while I do it. I don't know. I can't help it. I make ridiculous faces. There we go. Awesome. Rick Spicer says, "Thanks for all the knowledge. It's so cool, worldwide knowledge." And thank you, Rick Spicer. Thanks for coming and hanging out. And um, Rick Spicer and I have like a similar sense of humor. It's funny. Like, I don't know how that happened, but I don't know. Rick Spicer is making me laugh all the time. It's pretty great. Maya says, "I gotta go get ready. I have an appointment at the vet, so not wanted to leave my home today." Oh, you didn't want to leave your home today? Oh, good luck and Godspeed in your vet appointment and leaving the house. That is tough when you have to take a animal to the vet because usually they don't want to go. At least mine is due for his annual vet appointment soon. Actually, I have to take him this week. So yeah, that's I'm gonna be there too soon. Miss says, "Have a grand rising. I'm exhausted. Love you all." We love you too, Miss. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing your perspective and pictures of guitar rooms. What? That's crazy and awesome. Jesse Miller says, "Thank you for a place to hang out, Kristen." Always, always. I love being here. I love doing this. I'm a little stuck on it now. Have a good night and day, everyone. Aw, thanks, Janet G. Not half as awesome as you guys, though. Not by half. Oh, well, that's surprising. My dog loves going to the vet. He is weird. Oh, that's different. Well, good for him. You think so? I think you sang better after the tube of terror. I think I did too, actually. I don't know why. I think it dilates blood vessels or something. And I think actually it clears your sinuses. Like spicy stuff for sure clears your sinuses. I think I had like it gets you a little bit of adrenaline going too. It gives you a little more energy as well. So I think you're probably right. I think I just should just do a whole playlist where I just sing stuff after eating a tube of terror peanut or two. All right, guys. I'm gonna skedaddle. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. Thank you guys for being encouraging and supportive last night when I was having a rough night. Um, Thank you for letting me create this space for people to chat and come together. I get a lot out of it. So have a great night, and maybe I'll see you over on Cricket's channel. And if I don't, then I'll see you tomorrow at one of the other places we tend to gather. Have a great night, y'all. Thanks.